Good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We all have gone through high school. As for some of us, it was very easy, and for other people, it was definitely stressful. But as time has gone by, it's actually become even more stressful for people. So my claim today is, I would like to persuade you to why too much schoolwork is the cause for high levels of stress in teens. The cause of this is due to homework and extracurricular activities. As a third point, I would like to suggest some solutions. The reason homework is given to students is to practice what you learned in class and build up your skills, but some teachers just take it overboard. Like, they just give you too much work. My sophomore year, I would get around 60 to 80 math questions or problems a day. Like, that is a lot of math, and it was geometry, so it requires you to do all this work. According to the National Education Association, a student should be assigned 10 minutes of homework per grade level. So as a freshman, you should be getting 90 minutes of homework. As a senior, you should be getting around 120 minutes of homework. I see my little brother every day, obviously. He's a freshman. He spends about 2 to 3 hours on his homework every day. Like, that's more than it should be, because he should be getting around 90 minutes of homework every day. As a result of this, too much work, it causes stress, depression, lower grades, and less time to do extracurricular activities, which is necessary. So it's necessary for so you can get accepted into colleges, having those extracurricular activities, and you don't really have enough time because you're doing all this homework, and if you do extracurricular activities, you're just cramping up even more stuff. According to Margaret Sherpa, 1,018 students were in a survey to see how overwhelmed they were with schoolwork. 27% of those kids reported to have extreme stress. Like, you're in high school, you shouldn't feel too much stress. Like, that's the easiest time you should be getting. Like, all your problems should come after, not when you're in high school. 13% felt stressed during the summer because of all the homework they were getting from AP classes. So those were preparatory work before you enter a class. Like, it's your summer, come on, you guys, gotta enjoy it before you actually go back to school. 10% felt that stress had negative impact on their grades. And that's because they just feel like, oh, it's so much, I'm not gonna do it. It's so much easier just, not doing it instead of trying and keeping up with all this stuff. So they just start falling behind, and it's just causing more stress on them than doing it. So 60% of these teens said 60% of the teens said that extracurricular activities was a significant stressor because they put on more work onto their extracurricular activities, so they have less time to actually do their homework. I have a personal experience from that, and this is my junior year. I take the bus to school, and I would have to wake up at 4 in the morning just to get to school by 6 in the morning for morning practice. And this is just because I wanted to try out for the team, and so I have to wake up at 4 in the morning to get to school by 6, and then end practice around 7:30, 7:20 in the morning, go throughout my day doing going through my classes, and then after school have practice again from 2:37 to like 4:30 or 5 in the afternoon, and then from that time I would have to rehearse for our international show. So that's just cramming everything together, and it's just causing stress on like individuals. And a lot of people actually went through this throughout high school. It's not just me specifically. I feel like some of you guys can actually relate to this. Like, you have all these things you cram together, and it's just not helping your case over here. Some solutions that I like to suggest for you guys is exercise is the main way to relieve your stress, but you're pretty much crammed, so you probably don't have time for that. But if you could make some time somehow, that's the best way you could choose or go. Take things one step at a time. I have a friend here who Gabby probably knows her, name's Jill. She just crams everything together, and she freaks out because she's thinking of all these things instead of saying, okay, I'll do this right now, and then move on to the next thing. Work on assignments beforehand. If you know it's like a weekly thing, do it like on the first day you get it instead of waiting the night before to actually do it. So as a result, I hope I convinced you guys or some teachers to reduce the amount of homework. I mean, it's a good thing that you guys give us homework, but don't over exceed the limit. Yeah, that's it. To be honest, I actually Huh?
Melissa is not here. All right. Irving, I think that you need to, where'd you go? Oh, there you are. You need to practice a little bit more. Yeah, it really felt a lot like you were going through it for the first time. There are lots of places where there are hesitancies. You're uncertain about what's coming next. It sounded like you didn't even know what you were saying in a couple of spots. And you know, you put the argument together. You ought to know it pretty well at this point. It shouldn't be something that you're having to refer to your notes on. I like some of the examples that you have. Personal experiences are helpful. I think you can probably get a little bit more emotional mileage out of your brother's experience, for instance, and your personal experience. I don't know what exercise you would need to reduce your stress, since you had 4.5 to 5 hours of practice every day. That sounds like it would be plenty of physical activity to overcome the stress that you had. So that seems a little bit strange, you know, given the example that you use. Transitions are sometimes a little bit abrupt, but I did like the way you introduced the survey information. Sometimes you need to kind of create a little more visualization of the stress that people are under. And I think you might also point out what the consequences of the stress are. Not just to say people feel stressed, but why is that a bad thing? How does it hurt them in some way? What does it do to them that creates a problem? All right, thank you.